On today's show, two of the biggest names in the restaurant industry, Jose Garces from the Garces Group and Teddy Sourias from Craft Concept, talking about the impact on the restaurant community right now and what they're doing to move their business forward. I gotta tell everybody, it's time to build your business, build your brand. Let's effing go. Digital line, listen to two of the best experts around. Let's go.
I'm Chef Jose Garces, Chief Culinary Officer, founder of Garces Group in Philadelphia, James Beard Award winner, Iron Chef, and just overall passionate person about food, hospitality, and happy to be on today. Thank you.
Teddy Sourias. I started Craft Concepts Group in 2000. It started with Finn McCool's. It was a corner Irish bar. I opened it with my dad at 19. Then it evolved to opening up 7 more on Brew, Craft and Worst, Uban, Bloom, Tradesman's, Uptown Beer Garden, Tinsel Pop-Up. It's called Midtown Restaurant, all in Midtown Village. And we're opening up a speakeasy as well.
I'm glad to have you. Before we jump into it, I'll be mailing you both your own Digital Lions shirts that you'll be getting for coming on. I appreciate it. But on a more serious and somber note, the industry as a whole right now is in flux and people are nervous. How's it impacting you, Jose, and Teddy? And because I know you guys care about your employees, tell me what's going on out there and your customers. Jose, tell me how it's impacting you in the industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the industry as a whole is taking a hit, right? It's having to shutter restaurants and lay people off is one of the worst imaginable things you could think of as a restaurateur, as an entrepreneur. So that part has been really tough to see what happens to our employees and kind of helping them kind of think through what are the next steps, what can they do in the immediate future. So it's just again a difficult time, but something I think we're going to figure out how to overcome.
Teddy, you want to piggyback off of that? Anything?
So same thing here. We're obviously all shuttered right now. All our places are shuttered, but I think, and I can't even do construction. I can't even work on Uptown Beer Garden because construction shut down. Our pop-up, same thing. The thing is, the most important thing I tell my staff, I've been going online and reaching out to them through Schedulefly and through Zoom. And, this is something we all have to do. We have to do it together. And I know financially everybody's taking a hit, but you have to stay positive. We're going to all get through this together. We're Americans. We got this.
So my next question to you both is, you both are such icons in your industry. I mean, you both are known nationally across the country, and people love what you guys have built and what you've done and how you treat your staff. But it's always been business as usual. You always have to adapt and change. But I feel like right now you're going to have to adapt and change with the times more than ever because we've never seen anything like this. Jose, are you adapting and changing with the times? What are some of the things you're doing right now with your leadership team or whoever it may be to adapt to these times?
Well, in our current situation, we've gone from full service dining and a catering division to just a handful of restaurants that are open for takeout and delivery. That's what's allowed, and so that's a current day adaptation. I think as we go forward into the future, I think people are going to dine differently. They're going to consume differently, and so we have to, as an industry, really think about how we meet those needs and and how we can best participate.
Teddy, are you doing anything else to adapt? I know you're doing takeout. I know you have 2 or 3 locations that are open, Jose. We're going to plug them in here for you. Do you want to tell everybody who they are real fast?
Yeah, sure. So we have Buena Onda on 19th and Callow Hill in Philadelphia that's doing delivery and takeout. And the Old Bar in Philadelphia is also doing takeout and delivery. And we have this Sunday, we're launching an employee portal where our employees can come in and receive wholesale goods, foods, paper goods at our cost this Sunday. And we're looking to keep that program going through this situation.
That's amazing. So I just want to clarify here. You're going to actually buy the stuff wholesale because you have buying power, and then just give it
Yes.
to your employees at wholesale. That's amazing.
That's right, and just pass on the savings, and yeah, really let them kind of take advantage of it. And so we're looking forward to that starting this Sunday.
How about Teddy? Anything that you're doing to adapt with the changes right now?
Unfortunately, we don't have anything open right now, but we're just adapting by creating, spring menu items and changing the menus, changing the cocktail lists, and putting business plans together. I mean, I'm just trying to keep busy in front of with the staff and make sure that they're getting involved and stay in their face.
So I guess, speaking of your staff and what you're trying to do, and Teddy, you can answer the question first. You don't mind asking, what are you doing? Because employees, when you guys open, you're going to need your employees. I mean, you laid off 330, Teddy. Garces, you laid off 600. You're going to need those people back. What are you doing to communicate with them, to talk to them? You guys are such great leaders. I can't imagine you're just going dark here. What are you doing, Teddy?
So I've been using everything from House Party to Zoom, and staying in front of them. And Schedule Fly is one of the things that's our scheduling app, but that goes out to every single one of my employees. So we just daily messages. Hey, how you guys doing? What can I do for you? I gave everyone my cell phone number, my personal number. I said, you guys, anything you need, feel free to reach out to me. Like, I'm here for you. We, constantly reaching out to them and asking them, what would you like to see when we reopen? What's going to make you feel better about coming to work? What else can we do for you to feel comfortable? And then, ideas. How do we stay in front of the public right now? In front of, the marketing. What would you like to do to help us, to help yourselves? So, I think just keeping them involved,
Jose, how about yourself?
Well, I mean, in terms of the employees, I talked a little bit about this food program. I think constant communication is important during this time. We expect to fully recall, as many people as we possibly can when the doors reopen. And so, yeah, I mean, I really think that's really it, is just keeping in touch with them and making sure that they have their needs met. It's going to be again a tough period, but I think together we'll get there.
So you guys are kind of in limbo right now. No one knows, is it going to be Easter weekend? Is it going to be May? Is it going to? So everyone's very uncertain right now. And I'm not a food expert. I'm not a restaurant expert. You do not want to be my partner in the bar business, because Teddy will tell you I have the worst success rate ever. So, but the one thing I will say is I don't believe, because people's habits are changing right now, right? Technology. I see people adapting to technology more than ever. Social media more than ever. People are quarantined. What are you doing right now, either from a technology standpoint or any way, to stay in front of your customers so when you do open, they come back to you? What are you doing, Jose, if you don't mind answering first, and then Teddy, you second?
Sure. So one of the things we're going to start this week is this, Chef Jose's Cook at Home series. So we realize a lot of people are at home. Everyone has to eat now because they can't go out every night. So I think this kind of like, some key cooking tips. And it might be dishes off our menus that are classics. It might be like Iron Chef inspired. I might go back to some of my battles and be like, oh, I was thinking about, when I made this passion fruit dish for Battle Passion Fruit, here's where it went. So really, entertaining, giving some knowledge, and using all of our social media channels to achieve that, I think is, our strategy coming up. Like this week, it's real time. And so I'm excited about that. And I think in terms of thinking about the industry going forward, it really is, it's going to be an interesting time. It's a good time for all of us to think about how people are going to consume, how they're going to receive our goods in the future, because it is, I think, people's habits are changing. They're going to evolve, and they have. And so I think it's a good time to spend some time really thinking about, okay, how do we get our products to folks in a way that's safe and is evolved.
Teddy, what are you doing to stay in front of your customers? Anything that you're doing to let them know what's going on and when you're going to reopen and things? No mute button.
So, so we are using an app called Mojo. We're taking videos of our staff members and little clips, and we're creating one large video reminding them who we are. So we create this video, we post it. It's post. You guys have to continue to post, because that's the most important thing right now. You have to stay relevant. You have to stay in front of the people's and the customers' eyes. Like they need their escape of the reality as well. So they want to look forward to the future, and we are their future. We're going to be the place that's going to make everything go away. Everything going to be fine when everything finally is fine. So I think if you continue to post and you continue to boost these ads, so then everybody sees them, customers that you don't even know that are out there that want the product that you have, because there's plenty of time on social media now. People are scrolling constantly. So I think now is the time for us to be spending the most money on these ads and to remind everybody that we are here and find new followers, find new people to follow you and come to your businesses when it's finally time to reopen.
Here's a question for you both, and I'll start with you, Teddy, being that you're right there. Is we got to move forward. You got to keep it. And that's the whole thing that I tell everybody. This is the time to build your business. This is not the time to lay down with the sheep and die. You know, some people are doing that right now. Some people are like, oh, I'm scared. I'm going to stop working on my business. Or I love the post when I see people, what's a new Netflix series I should be watching. I had to go realize what that means. My wife had to tell me. But I mean, like I see those posts. I'm like, well, what does that mean? But people look up to you too. Teddy, what are you doing to drive your business forward right now? What are you working on? Are you working on SOPs? Are you working on your marketing? Are you working on your operations? Are you working on staff? What are you working on?
It's funny you said that because I am busier now than I was before. Everybody texts me randomly and they're like, hey, how are you doing? How are you coping with this? Are you bored out of your mind? I'm like, am I bored? I'm more stressed now, but in a good way. It's not a bad, it's like I am putting, my mind is spinning. What do I do next? I'm putting marketing plans together. I'm putting future business plans together. I'm we've been cleaning these restaurants like I bring in the staff and then we're like scrubbing corners that we weren't, never thought of. We never would have time before. So I'm keeping the staff, whatever stuff I can, busy, but I'm also building plans for our future. What can I do now that I have a few extra moments that nothing's breaking? Don't have to worry about fixing it. Now it's like, what can I do to fix the future? And that's what I'm just putting plans together, making sure everybody's, and involved with the proper management team to get that to the next level.
Right. Jose, what are you working on?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, to Teddy's point, there's a lot that we can do right now. Whether it's taking care of your physical plant, where, when you're in day-to-day operations, you may not get to every single spot in the restaurant that you want to have clean, painted, fixed, repaired, etc. It's a good time, I think, to really get your operations up. And I think, I guess it's a good time. It's funny that you said this, Teddy, that you can, even though the restaurants are slowed down, it's a great time to strategize and plan for the future. Really think about, again, okay, so when we open in whatever undetermined date it is, how are our staffing levels going to be? How much business can we look forward to? What is going to be the ramp up? Because I do think it's going to be a gradual progression over time, and it's undetermined. They might say the doors open and everyone just kind of floods in. But I think a little preparedness for that time is really important. And I think, as well as, again, we talked about this, how are people going to eat going forward? And I'm not talking about the first 12 months. I'm talking about the next 24 months. What does that look like? And so it's a good time if you're a creative entrepreneur to really be thinking about those options as well.
So the next question is, it's pretty people, you guys, to build what you build across Philadelphia. I know, Jose, you're in New York, and I believe you're also in a few other states, also in New Hope, Pennsylvania. You build up, but to build what you've built, to be leaders in your industry the way you are, you've always believed in cleanliness, being on top of things, making sure food is good, people aren't getting sick. But I think people are going to be more leery about coming back to restaurants and bars because they almost give a negative connotation to restaurant, bars, and gyms, right? Anywhere there's mass gatherings, you get sick. So what are you doing to let the community? I'm sure you're making changes also. I'm sure you guys were great at what you did already. But what's going to be the story you tell the customers to come back in? Hey, what changes are you making? How are you going to communicate that? And maybe you already have some things you're already working on, Jose.
Yeah, well, I think, as an industry, we get tested regularly by the health and sanitation departments of your local municipalities. So we're already, as an industry, testing for, making sure we're not transmitting E. coli, typhoid, that our temperatures and our holding wells are at the right temperature. Our refrigeration is at the right temperature so that we deliver healthy food. And, maybe telling a little more of that story to the public. But in addition to that, also taking extra steps in providing clean and sanitized surfaces on a regular basis. I think as a group, that's one of the things we're discussing right now is how do we create better, cleaner environments. I think we're also going to have to think as an industry, and this, might not, and anyone might want to hear it, but we might have to remove some tables. We might have to give people a little more space in our spaces so that they feel comfortable. And again, I think this is all going to evolve over time, but it's something, again, as an industry, we have to look at.
Teddy, how about yourself, my friend?
I agree with Jose. I think we don't know exactly what to expect from when we reopen, but I know what we're going to have to do and what we should have always done is have standing stations right when you first walk in. And I think by just customers seeing that they can sanitize their hands and hope that everybody's doing that, I think it's going to be like a comforting feeling. The Sandy wipes, we wipe our bar tops down now with, rags. We spray, obviously, but now I think just having sanitizer, one-time wipes, the tables, all standing wipes. Again, we do get tested in the kitchens constantly. They're coming checking on us. We do follow. We have gloves. We wear hats. I think in the kitchen, we find a different method for keeping these surfaces clean. And there's these foggers that I've been reading about. Maybe we use those, and they're good for 28 days. They're good for hard surfaces, soft surfaces. I think things are going to start changing now. And, this might have been a blessing in disguise. Maybe we should have been doing this a long time ago, but now I think we just got to go with it. We have to go with the times, and now we just combat whatever's happened.
Well, I appreciate you both being on the show, and you guys are hearing it first from two great leaders in your industry across the country. Two of the top restaurant owners that are great at what they do. Work on your business now. Let's effing go, and time to build and get out of your slump. Let's go, everybody.
For that restaurateur, that entrepreneur that's open, one restaurant, maybe two, as someone who's opened several, I know to get to that point is tough. That's a struggle. That's opening a restaurant can be a very challenging thing. So you've made it that far. Right now is not the time to sandbag it, throw up the white towel, whatever. We will make it through. There are business cycles that occur. Unfortunately, this is a tough one, but we will get through as an industry. So hang in, stay true to who you are, stay true to your product and what you do, and I'll see you on the other side. We'll be there. For my guests and customers, I think more than ever, our attention to detail and cleanliness and sanitation is going to be so heightened. So I don't want you to worry about that when you come into my establishments. And I think with this pause, there's going to be a renewed focus on product, whether it's great new menus, delicious new foods, fantastic drinks. I'm excited about that because again, there are silver linings in all this, and this has given us some time to really think about all of these things. So can't wait to see you all back.
So I think the important thing for everybody to remember is we're all in this together. It's not just one industry getting impacted by it. It's all the industries. Everybody's finding some negativity in this, but you have to look at the positive of it. You can't just you have to roll with the punches. You can't let these things get to you. Like Jose said, you got this far. You can't let something like this just stop you. We're going to keep moving. If you're hungry and you look at the positive in the future and you focus on that and not the negativity, you will make it work. I think, when I was younger and I first wanted to open up my first place and it happened, I never thought the next place was ever going to be possible. And it took 12 years of being told no and, not knowing if you're ever going to get out of this one location that you're at. And then I think when you focus on it and you work at it, you will make anything happen. And I think right now we're all thinking negative, or some people are thinking negative because of the slump that we're in. It's not really a slump. I think if we find ways to combat it and we focus on what we will do better next time, you can show that to our customers. You can make sure that the customers will want to come back to your place, and this will all be just a memory one day. And 6 months from now, we'll obviously remember it happened, but I think we're going to be back to normal. And I want the customers to know that we are there for them. That we are going to keep clean. We're going to make sure that our services are clean, that our staff treats them, makes them feel comfortable in their while they're there.